Thank you very much. I'm Greg Ameyugo from CA Tech in France, and just going to show you the results of our working group and also just tell a little story by way of in a scenario. There. So we looked at both issues and concerns and trends, and of course we had a very eclectic mix there. So in terms of issues, concerns, and trends, we probably moved half of these back and forth between issues and trends about 10 times. So demographic change is a trend, it is an issue. Competition for high-skilled workers by other industries, and the lack of convergence of manufacturing and urban community. So people not understanding each other, problems in factories leading to closures due to social pressure, for example. And then in terms of trends that might have an impact on the future, we have 3D printing. Sustainability in general, I mean, we don't want to say it's a trend because we think it's the future, but there are many short-term initiatives as well. And at the moment, it is a hot topic at the end of the day. We have the mass customization trend regarding fast reaction to market, and that does not stop at 3D printing, so this covers everything from logistics and even other manufacturing methods. And collaborative robotics and augmented human technologies in general, in the sense that they might help making manufacturing socially sustainable for the aging worker population. So based on these trends, we again debated whether to start at an individual, organization, ecosystem. We ended up with a landscape scenario, or we think it's a landscape scenario, but the impact of this scenario can obviously be told from an individual perspective, organization perspective. So at the end, we just picked one story. It involves actors from the urban community, because the theme is urban factories. So putting factories into the urban environment. So the urban community now includes workers who would actually come from this urban environment. The manufacturing community at large, so including companies that have manufacturing capabilities, and then regional actors such as local politicians that might want the manufacturing capability and workforce in the region back to former levels. So the objective is to move factories into the city, but why should this be an objective? Whereas the trend has usually been the other way around. So first, this will increase the quality of life and well-being of people, and I know it's counterintuitive, we'll just say why in a second. It would also help attract knowledge workers and skilled workers in general. And it would also increase the visibility and transparency of manufacturing activities to society. So even if we start out from a scenario where everything's wrong, if the factory is part of the ecosystem, then it becomes an issue. So in France, we say far from the eyes, far from the heart. So if it's in front of everyone's eyes, then we will be able to increase the public drive to improve manufacturing technologies, and the political issues. So regarding enabling factors for this scenario, we chose a number of technologies, and I have to say that our working group was very technology oriented, so we tend to think of technical solutions right off the bat. So 3D printing, emission reduction technologies, intelligent transportation systems for all the associated logistics, since these factories are now going to be placed inside an urban environment. Augmented human technology, so bring in the right information to the worker at the right time. Collaborative robotics to help older workers continue to operate as they used to. And cyber-physical networks to enable the connection of different elements within the factory and within the supply chain, and be able to optimize the system. Because what tends to happen today is local optimization. So you can optimize your factory, you have a bottleneck outside, you actually need to expand beyond the factory itself. So we'll start with the story. So I think we called the gentleman from the Milan region, Signore Pensa, who convinced CEO, who was Signore Savini, to bring his shoe manufacturing activity back to Milan after he outsourced it to China. And, well, amongst the incentives package, which of course covers much, much more, there are some new technologies such as a new way of printing shoes in 3D and different elements of it, and a network of startups, for example, Shoesoles International, that have cropped up within the Milan urban environment. These are clean, small companies that use emission-less technology and are attracting the best engineers from the Politecnico di Milano, as well as the best workers in the neighborhood, because they don't have to move away from the city. They have all the culture, nightlife, and everything else. They are companies that are featured in the Fast Company magazine, and just a desirable place to work. So if you combine this with, well, a new manufacturing center from the shoe manufacturer in the region, and things, if we go to the cyber-physical system side of it, a collaborative network where you can imagine someone in the shoe shop who is actually scanning people's feet, and they feed the 3D model of the feet back into the supply chain. So all the little elements come together, and you can get mass customized shoes of higher quality. At the end, everybody wins. So you've reshored, you've got a business model that you can scale up into other urban environments, people that have different size feet as well. So new skills and new techniques begin to emerge, and well, you win back manufacturing in general for the environment. So the benefits, I think we've just covered them. So we can attract a younger workforce because we can provide easier work-life balance conditions. If you have to go work in a factory that's 100 kilometers away, then I don't know what you'll do with your baby during daycare, but that brings lots of problems. You can have a more visible manufacturing activity. You can be closer to the customers, react faster to new trends, and also facilitate recycling. So you can take back the shoes with your supplier network and actually facilitate the workings of the circular economy by having everything clustered nearby. And finally, such manufacturing facilities can act as ambassadors. So if the factory that you put back in the city is a horrible place to work, then of course that will confirm the cliches that people have in their heads. If you can show that it's evolving, that there are new technologies, and that the working conditions are different, then you will begin to change the image, and you can move towards a brighter future. And that's it. Thank you very much.